This is Rachel Blatt, your girl, along here with John Foley. We are introducing today the principal's office, where I like to say this is the only principal's office where you actually come to. This is where we interview business owners, car gurus, people who are running businesses, and we talk about the challenges and the success and basically how to grow. And I'm very lucky today that we're doing this live from Used Car Week. So without further ado, I got a very special guest today. He's rocking the EV movement. He's a killer in the car business. And you're absolutely going to love hearing from John. So without further ado, let's get this party started so we can not waste any time and get to pick his brain. John, I don't even need to add you into the screen. You're here. This is exciting. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself and telling everybody that's watching who you are.
Sure. Well, my name is John Foley, as you've put on your screen. I have been in the auto industry for about 25 years now, and I spent 15 years on the traditional side of automotive retail. Oversaw Nissan franchise, did all that fun stuff. Then I went to car lots. I was there for 8 years. I was served as the chief operating officer, and now I have started Recharged. And so Recharged is we are selling used electric vehicles.
Yeah.
Creating a marketplace for that, and we're up and running. And here we go.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've had and for 25 years in the car business, your hair seems just so dark. So that's good. That's good. It's blonde to cover up the grays for me. But so, with all this experience that you had, what are some of you're in the middle of a startup, right? I mean, you're making money. Everything is going well. You're having a lot of success so far with Recharge. You've discovered a market. Now, how do you take it and, start to begin to grow it?
Well, I mean, a little bit at a time. I think I have a very clear vision for where this all goes and in the future, but that's not tomorrow.
Right.
And so tomorrow we've got to take care of the buyers and sellers that are coming in to see us right now today. And, just keep flushing out our plan, getting feedback, getting lots of feedback from both our buyers and our sellers, and then other people in the industry as we, learn more and then, make adjustments as we go. So,
what type of customers do you guys serve?
Yeah, I like to say that we have 3 different types of EV buyers that we deal with. So one is the repeat EV buyer. They've already bought an EV. They own one. They own 2. This is just another one, or they're replacing one. You don't have to educate them so much on what ownership is like, but those people are very supportive of what we're doing, and they're great to work with. Second, you have an EV committed buyer, and the EV committed buyer is one who's all right, next car we buy, for whatever reason, some of it might be environmental, whatever, they've decided we're buying an EV next, and so that buyer needs the education, needs that experience is very important to them. And then the third is the EV curious, which I think most people today are considered EV curious as they enter the market in their next buying cycle. And those are the customers that we really enjoy, because this is all new, and they're now we've created a space where they can come out and test drive 30 different vehicles and
Right.
like learn about charging and
Yeah.
and it's just it's so much fun. So but those are the three different buyers that we see now. Inside of each one of those buckets, there's certainly different demographics that we deal with, but in general, that's the three buckets.
So,
I like to
and you
use.
guys are based in the DC area.
We're in Richmond.
Right.
Richmond, Virginia is just south of DC, but we sell about half of our cars inside of Richmond and the other half outside.
Right.
So we've sold, lots of DC, lots of Charlotte, North Carolina, but then we're talking to people in Florida, Texas, New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, like very quickly, Maryland. Just
I could totally see you going national. This is a very his concept and is so new and refreshing and just one of those things like nobody's doing this right now. You're sort of like the front leader, set up like Tesla was, when the EVs began. And so how do you compare yourself to like the Tesla journey?
To the Tesla journey.
Just being the front runner in the space and being the first to market.
Well, I think maybe the best comparison to like that journey is that there are certainly naysayers, even after Tesla has proven, their model out. And so I think we have to kind of like weed through the noise, what's real, what's actionable versus like, just all the misinformation that tends to float around out there. And that's certainly something we have to work through every day. So
and I think it's important, like, when you are like the first to market or it's your very idea, you are paving the way for other people to come behind you and sort of learn from you. And so how would you, in a competitive landscape, like how do you stay in front of people coming behind you?
Yeah, well, that's great. I think we continue to refine our product and our offering. So, today we're able to, offer a bunch of different vehicles in one place, offer education, offer some charging solutions, offer some battery information, which is a big, but our value proposition can improve, and as it does, I think that makes, our ability to defend our own brand better. So.
Well, it's wonderful. I mean, I think it has its pros and cons both because you get the head start, but also every lesson that you learn falls on your shoulders.
That's right.
So tell me about some of the challenges that you guys have faced and how you overcame them.
Well, I think, I didn't start this as this EV passionate person. I just saw the opportunity that this problem that really needed to be solved. And I found some other people who were really excited about going and solving it with me. But again, not, we've got some EV owners but just not that like passion. So we are learning ourselves as fast as we can to make sure that like the experience that we're creating is what EV buyers are looking for. So we're doing like lunch and learns on our team all the time, like teach ourselves, as much as we can and keep up with all that's going on in the industry, just to make sure we're providing the very best, buying and selling experience that we can. I'd say that like the other challenges that, we face are no different than other dealers, but I will say that like we definitely have, kind of probably a better eye on the ball than maybe the dealer. So you'll hear a lot about like, Tesla and price changes and all that. Well, we have to deal with that and so does everybody else, but we're really focused on to make sure that, we're moving the cars quickly enough, and we're looking for signals that there could be price changes. Not all the price changes are down. Some of the price changes are up. So,
Well, he did. So just speaking of, and this is what I know of EVs, but there was a big story in the news how Elon sort of lowered all the prices, but I'm sure that didn't last long, and everybody threw their arms up like, what? Like, because they couldn't sell their aftermarket, they wanted to get a new one. And so you did see that price come back up. I think that's important. Tell us about some of your successes that you have, because I know there's always the challenges, but I don't think that we spend enough time focusing on the wins.
Man, we have so many wins, and we try to celebrate them and every time they happen. And I would say that 90% of them are with customers. Like,
Yeah.
Those are the ones that are the best, like really helping them solve this problem, like introducing them to this concept that might have been foreign to them. Going out and finding the car that solves their problem. Those are the wins that we're celebrating, every day for sure. So,
yeah. And your team is growing too, right? So you guys are growing as a company. And so let me get a specific win. You got a specific win of one of your team members. I want to hear one of your team winning. You got a win from them that you can share on your team.
Oh, did you have something in mind?
No.
Oh. You're asking like you're
me, I'm on your team. Yes. Tell them how great I am.
No,
just kidding.
You just met Becca Henderson, who's here. Becca has been in the mobility space for a bit over 10 years now, and is just, a rock star. I mean, she's incredible. Helps us in so many ways. Like. And I shared with her when I brought her on, it's like, as soon as I started to think through, like, what is it going to take to make this happen? Then I got it in my mind. I was like, Becca has to be part of this. Yeah. And like, that was it. I had to get back on the team. Yeah. So she's been a big win. Our whole team is full of wins. Like we have some great folks, Josh and Zach, are down in the experience center, like every day helping out these guests and they're solving problems and figuring it out. So
I love that stuff. Now, now that you've been experienced around all these EV models, I'd like to know which one you prefer, my friend.
Of the EVs?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's such a tough question to answer. I am surprised every time I get in a new one. So like a couple of weeks ago, I jumped in a 2023 Subaru Solterra for the first time.
Yeah.
Incredible vehicle.
Yeah.
Incredible vehicle. I was surprised by Volvo and the XC40. Like that was, I had a chance to take one out on a track. Like it's pretty awesome. It's a nice vehicle. They're fun. So like, I don't even know that I have a favorite. I probably, if I had to pick something, I'm gonna probably go with speed. Put me in a Plaid. But but yeah.
Well, I love the Lucid body. That's really, I think those are some really sexy cars. And of course, we are big fans of the Rivian because that thing will just lift up and then gun it. And we've had a lot of fun with that too. Yeah. So, I mean, it's a different kind of car experience, I think, outside of what cars are like now. I feel like it's a whole different experience. It's a whole different approach.
It is. And I took my father-in-law in an EV yesterday, 2 days ago, for the first time. Yeah, his first time, and it is always exciting. The first time somebody gets in, you're like, oh, well, there's no engine, and all these things. Like as they work through it, and the acceleration, is exciting. But those are the fun things that we get to do.
They're really coming a long way. Yeah. So let's just talk about some other fun facts about you. So let's just get to know John a little bit more and embarrass him, hopefully not too much. So listen, are you one of those people that share your middle name, and would you dare to share?
No.
Okay.
No, it's, I laugh because I had a little get to know the team session, even though Josh and Zach and Becca have all worked for me before, and and we did something that we don't know about each other. Yeah. And having spent a lot of time working with them, that was tough to do. Yeah. So I shared my middle name with them.
Yes.
They didn't
know. So listen, only the privileged get to know that. Okay. So fun fact. Let's talk about candy because we just finished Halloween. Mm-hmm. So what were you snagging out of the candy right there?
Well, my 10-year-old fended me off with a Butterfinger because he knows that's my go-to. So he picked up a full Butterfinger along his trick-or-treating route and then threw it to me and was like, "Stay away from my candy. Here's your Butterfinger." So that and Reese's Pieces. Those are. I know.
I'm a Smarties girl. I love Smarties through and through. Sweet tarts. I'm like, give me that sugar, but I do love a Butterfinger. I'm not gonna lie, I love a freaking Butterfinger. All right, so let's find one other fact. We gotta find something fun and funny. Let's talk about something that maybe is, that you came across that you thought was just hilarious recently.
Oh, geez.
And it could be a comedy. It could be something funny. Just entertain us. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I put him on the spot. Be a stand-up comedian right now.
Well, how about I don't know. You got me on the spot on that. Something funny that I've heard recently, and that I can keep playing, I guess. But how about like how I got into the car business?
Okay, let's hear that.
Like that's because nobody, very few people seem to like seek out a role in automotive.
Yeah.
And you could certainly share your story, but like for me, I worked for Geico. I worked in a big building, and I managed a team there, and just it wasn't for me, like being indoors and like leashed to a desk and so I had a friend who was like constantly trying to get me to come out and try to sell cars, and I was like, you know what, forget it, I'm young, why not try it? So, and then I did, and as I started, there was like a cruise contest that was going on, and I just went out and got it. And
automotive is known for awesome contests, by the way. So seriously,
got me in.
I mean, did you win the cruise?
I won the cruise, yeah.
He won the cruise.
Yeah, that's why I was like, right away, I was like, all right, I got to go get this thing.
I would go. Now, would you go on a cruise today? That's the question.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'm not a huge. I don't hate them, but like, I'm not a huge cruise fan. You know? It's the 7 days is a little bit long. I think a couple of days.
Maybe 4.
You know.
4 max. 4 max on a boat.
Yeah.
I like land.
Yeah.
I like land. Okay, so and if anybody who is out there, let's talk about some other fun things, because I think it's important. Man, we are going fast today. I wanted to go back up a little bit and talk about how you are scaling a business. Okay, and then we'll go to relationships like we talked about, because I think that's important too.
Okay.
So let's back up a little bit and talk about how you go about scaling, because I think everybody has a different approach, and there's thousands of books out there, and it's like the buzzword of the buzzword, but we're actually doing it. Okay. That's the real truth. Right. So it's not a buzzword. It's not like we're going to go to school and something. We're actually scaling businesses here. So what I really want to know is, like, how do you start to begin to scale that? Like, did you have a guru? Did you go anywhere? I've spent a lot of money trying to figure it out.
Well, and there's two sides to the business that, we're building here. So like on the retail side, my capacity to continue selling cars out of Richmond, Virginia, is still, quite good.
Right.
And I can grow my, or I can solve my space constraint problem without going out and opening more experience centers necessarily. I like the experience centers. It's a low dollar real estate investment that's like really just honed in on like what somebody's there to do, which is learn and buy or sell this car.
Right.
We're not in reconditioning right now. We're not doing service. So it is really just a pretty low dollar investment to stand those up. We get calls, I get calls all the time, people who are seeing what we're doing and want to franchise and want to open up because they want to put them in their own market. And so I am more in favor of like the mushroom cloud approach to growing outside of Virginia versus like we're in Virginia today, now let's pop up somewhere else across the country and then somewhere else, and like
so you want to continue to stay in your local region, right?
That's right.
Bang that out perfectly before you go out into another region, even though you may be selling vehicles.
Well, I want to take advantage of all the synergies that are created by that disciplined growth. So
I think that's really important. Now, we were talking because you and I have known each other for a couple of years now, and I wanted to really pick your brain about the relationships that we have. So right now we're at Used Car Week. There's a ton of people here from the car business across all industries. This is Used Car Week. And I want to talk about like relationships and what your goal in terms, for me, it's all about like connecting with people, building relationships, finding people either like that I can work with or do my podcast with or grow with. Right. What is your kind of main focus and when it comes to building relationships here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think a good a good partnership relationship. Both people are investing,
Mhm.
you know. So I'm always just curious, like what I can do to help others, as
Yeah.
I am like what they can do to help me out. And so,
Yeah.
you know, when I think about what I'm doing right now, and had I not had, you know, the years of experience and the relationships along with it, it'd be very difficult to do.
Right.
You know, not knowing anything, and then like
Right.
the only thing you have to really offer, or not really offer, but the only thing you can do is go out and try to seek answers from people, but there's not a lot of value you're adding back. So, so yeah, I mean, that's it's certainly critical.
Yeah, I love what
Yeah.
you said about it's a two-way street too, because there's a lot of people I feel like that'll take, and not give.
Yeah.
And it's not even that you need to give anything, your time, really. It could come down to your time.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. Now, how can, the people watching and, how can we interact with you? How can we become part of your network? What are you looking for in terms of like support and help?
Yeah, I mean, you know, anybody can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm very responsive, love to connect with people and hear what they're doing, and as
Right.
much as, you know, talk about what I'm doing. You know, we're going to start to focus more and more on the social side of our business,
Yeah.
and grow that out. And, you know, to the extent that, you know, people are sharing and liking and doing all those things, great. But we'll also take the feedback. So if
Right.
it sucks, just tell us it sucks.
I know, seriously. And we're doing some TikToks too. This is the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm telling everybody, I'm like such a boomer on TikTok. I had to go find somebody to help me make these TikToks. And I have a lot of good ideas, but I'm just like, oh, don't even try to let me put it together. It's just not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So, but the social aspect I feel like is very important, and I feel like if you can grow a following with your company and really get, because I think the younger generations are like the ones coming up behind us. They're really interested in the environment. They're really interested in going electric, and it is their future. So if we can tap them now and start building that brand for them.
Yep.
I feel like
100%.
and not only that, but they're so much savvier when it comes to the marketing and the social. And I feel like it's going to be a really big thing. So, and I also show you how to do the podcast later if you want.
Yeah.
Next time we'll be like, well, I'll be the host on his podcast.
There you go. Yes. For sure.
So anyway, let's go back to relationships though. So what else do when you are, let's go to your relationships with your people, because we've talked about some of the people that are just incredible on your team and their qualities. But let's talk about when you're looking for somebody to come and work with, what does that look like? Like, what do you look for when you are, obviously, the people that you've worked with, but there's people that are going to come into your space that you haven't worked with yet. And let's talk about some of those qualities, because I think it's important for those of us out there that are growing a business that, what are some of the qualities that you look for when you're, onboarding new people? What are some of the red flags that you see? I'd like to know this.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, I think, you definitely need to fully understand what it is you actually need. Forget intangibles and all for a minute, but just like, what is the role that you're filling?
Right.
Make sure that, there is certainly the school of thought, build a role around the right person. And I am in favor of that. But, I think the things to like, just work with me personally, like you have to be like, I don't want to say thick skin, because that's not
Right.
it. Like, I want to be in a place where there's a lot of trust,
Right.
and I can provide feedback, I can take feedback, and we can do it all fast, and like things don't linger on for time.
Right. No holding grudges.
Yeah, no, none of that.
No,
like we gotta go.
We gotta
go.
move on.
Right. So
Like, next.
so yeah,
next
I'd say
problem to solve.
responsiveness.
Yeah.
I think that's one that usually stands out in the in the interview process. You can find out pretty quickly whether somebody's a go-getter or not. Yeah, for sure. So
we have to look for sharp people. Like, everybody, we're constantly solving problems. I mean, that's my business, is solving problems. So can you solve a problem? Can you think outside of the box? Can you go, above and beyond for somebody?
Right.
That's what I look for. And then I also have some red flags that if you can't do your email signature, I've run into
Right.
people like this.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, I know.
Yeah.
And then you're like, I have to give people the test. Like, here, put the email signature.
So for the longest time,
What's happening?
the question I'll get a lot, from especially managing like larger teams,
Yeah.
will be like, what, how do I know? Like, what are the things that you're looking for when you come to see like me and my store?
Right.
And so he's telling my managers, like, it's 3 things for me.
Yeah.
The little things matter.
Yep.
Like, and that's number 1. And so the second I pull on know a lot, right away I know, the person who runs that operation is on the ball or not. Because like, it may seem silly to some people, but like, are the cars lined up? Are they all merchandised right?
Mm-hmm.
Does the lot look good? Is there trash blowing around? Are there cars parked in the
Right.
customer parking that have been sitting there for hours or days?
Right.
Like, those kind of things all matter. So right away I tell people like the little things matter.
That's a good little company culture too, that you can tagline that. I think that's great for your brand too.
And so
Little things matter.
the people matter.
People matter.
And when I say people, it means everybody.
Right.
Like, it means the people that come in and do business with us. It means our teams. It means each other. Those that matters. And then of course results matter. Like, at the end of the day, like, the results do matter. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's so important too. And there's a lot of people out there that, and by the way, you're tremendous answers, because, and I absolutely think that the little things do matter. And that's, I call it the details set you apart, right? So it's the little finite things. It's the little extra that goes into it. And I think it's just something that, it's good business and it makes you special.
Right.
So we're coming to a close here, and I just want to say thank you, because you've been amazing. Please like, subscribe, share amongst your friends. And I'd like to just end with some final thoughts for you. So if you were to give advice for somebody who is a business, a startup, a dealership, what's your best
it would be
advice?
what you just said, and that's like go solve problems. Like, find a big problem, go solve it. But whatever you're doing, there are problems in front of you, and like, just figure out the way to be the problem solver. If you're the problem solver where you are, then you're quickly going to become recognized as, the leader, and you'll go figure it out.
Well, you've heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. I've got the one and only John Foley here. And Recharged is this company. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find the company at recharge.com.
Recharge.com.
And if you're interested in an EV, and you're in the DC area, go check him out for sure.
Where you are.
Doesn't matter. Online too. I love it.
Yeah.
And and just let me know if you need something shipped. I'll take care of it. What? So thank you again for listening, and for everybody that was liking and subscribing. It's a little different coming live from Used Car Week, but we're super grateful that you watched and all the way to the end. So amazing. Thank you so much, and have a great one. Bye.